Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Badriyatul Mutiah. I am from English Education Department 2019, and here I would like to explain about the functional classification affix. Functional classification affix. Functional classification affix means where it can be created by new words, or we can change in other words from the words to the other words. But it's not only that. Functional classification affix also can be performed a grammatical function. But we have to know that functional classification affix has been divided in two kinds, such as inflectional affix and derivational affix. But firstly, I would like to explain about the inflectional affix. Here we see inflectional affixes. Inflectional affixes defines that modifying a grammatical features, but it do not move the part of speech, or in other words, it doesn't change the meaning of the word. It doesn't change the word to the other word. An example like as, ing, and ed. Those are the examples of inflectional affixes, where all the examples of inflectional affixes cannot be used in creating for a new English word. For examples, walk become a walking, read become a reads, talk become a talked. Those are the examples of adding the inflectional affix in a word. Those words have same meaning, but only indicates the future grammatical, like present become a continuous, present become a past. Inflectional affixes only include a suffix such as, ing, ed, and so on. And also, inflectional affix do not refer to the word formation, but they indicate the plurality. It's like ses, comparison it's like er or est, and tenses examples like as, es, ed, and ing. Here, I would like to explain about the inflectional affix, where inflectional affix it includes only suffix. So here the examples, it's like as, ed, ing, as, er, est, and apostrophe s. Okay, we talk about the first as. As here means plural. Plural, it's like examples, brooms, bags, tables. So those words do not change the part of speech, do not change the meaning, but only change about the plurality. Brooms, it was from the broom. Bags, it was from the bag. Tables, it was from the table. So they do not change the part of speech, they do not change the word of meaning. Next is ed. Ed means past or past participle tense. For the examples, looked, talked, washed, watched, and clapped. Those words do not change the part of speech. We continue to the third examples. That is ing. Ing means continuous. For the examples, writing, cooking. Writing, it was word from write, and cooking, it was from cook. The next is as. Here, the as means the third person. So when we use the third person in present tense, so remember in only present tense, and the subject is the third person, such as like she, he, it, or the other name, so we use as. We put the as after the word. Examples, reads, calls, sleeps, sweeps, opens, and stands. Reads, it was from the word of read. Calls, it was from the word of call. Sleeps, it was from the word of sleeps, and the others. And we continue to the word of er. Er here means of comparative. Comparative means it's like we to the next level. So the part of speech do not change. The meaning also do not change. For the examples, like sweeter, happier. Sweeter, it the word from sweet. Happier from the word of happy. Continue is est. Est means superlative. Superlative means here some it's like comparative where we continue to the higher level. It's like tallest, smallest. Tallest is the word from tall. Smallest the word from small. Continue to the last inflectional affix examples. That is apostrophe s. Apostrophe s means possessive. It's like for the examples, sisters, Robertos. It's like that. So when you want to say it's like a sister's book, so you have to put s. So it means they do not change the meaning. They do not change the part of speech. So all the examples about the inflectional affixes of suffix, they do not change the meaning. They do not change the examples. Derivational affixes. Derivational affixes is the second part of functional classification affix. Derivational affixes are affixes where it can change the meaning, but not only that, but also we can change the part of speech of the word, which the word has been added by the affixes. They can be either prefix, it's like examples of prefix such as and, re, and etc. The suffix examples ment, las, nas, lia, and etc. So those are the examples of derivational affixes. So derivational affixes can be added by the prefix and suffix. For examples, happy become an unhappy, hope become hopeless. Happy and unhappy is the examples of prefix. Hope and become hopeless is the examples of a suffix, where we can put all the affix in a word for derivational affixes. Derivational affixes, of course, it has an alteration in a word. For example, the first is lia. Lia, the main class of lia is an adjective, but when I want to move to the other word, become example beautifully. The main class of beautifully is an adverb, so adjective become adverb, so they have an alteration. The second is re. Re is the main class is a verb, but when I don't want to move the part of speech, it doesn't matter. For an example, is return. The main class of return is verb, so they do not move the part of speech. Verb become a verb. The second example is nas. The main class of nas is adjective, but when I want to move the part of speech, for the example is goodness. The main class of goodness is a noun, so they have also an alteration in the word. The next example is meant. The main class of meant is a verb, but when I put the example of government, so they have an alteration again, so verb become a noun. The last example is this. The main class of this is a verb, but when I want to move to the other word, it's like example display. So they have alteration again. Verb become a noun because the main class of display is a noun. So in derivational affixes, they have an alteration. We continue to the next part, that is derivational affixes. We still talk about derivational affixes. We have to know that derivational affixes is divided in two parts, such as class changing affixes and class maintaining. Okay, first we talk about the class changing affixes. What does class changing affixes mean? Class changing affixes refer to the word where it can change the part of speech. For example, the word is a right. We have to know that the main of right is a verb. And when I want to put the suffix is er, so I put become writer. So it has different part of speech. So right, the main class become a verb, and I change to the later, so the main class is not verb again, but it changes become a noun. The second is class maintaining. What does class maintaining mean? Class maintaining refers to the affixes which do not change the part of speech of the word, but it changes the meaning of the word. For the suffix, I take the example, it's like dumb. Okay, we take the other example in the word. Example, king. We have to know that the main class of king is a noun. But when I want to put or add dom after king become a kingdom, it does not change the part of speech when I put the suffix become a kingdom, because the main class of kingdom is still a noun. We continue to the part C. This part is how to distinguish between inflectional and derivational affixes. Many people get difficult to distinguish between inflectional affixes and derivational affixes. To make it easy, to make it clearly, so here I give some difference between inflectional affixes and derivational affixes. For the first, the inflectional affixes, they maintain the part of speech of word to which it is attached. It means they do not move the part of speech. They do not change the part of speech. For example, cook become a cooking. Take become a takes. So it does not change the part of speech. How about the derivational affixes? Derivational affixes, they change the part of speech of words to which it is attached. So every words where it can be attached by the affix, so it will be change the part of speech. For example, read become a readers. Cheat become a cheaters. For the second differences, that is, for the inflectional affixes, they occur only in a word such as working. In this word, we cannot attach other affixes to the word working. It means when we put a word, we cannot put other affixes except suffix, because in inflectional affix, only suffix only. How about derivational affix? Derivational affix, they can be more than one attachment, such as affixes. So in derivational affixes, it can be suffix and prefix. For examples, unhappily, so there are two affixes. The first is un, that is prefix, and li, that is the examples of suffix. So those are affixes gathered in derivational affixes. We continue to the third differences. Inflectional affixes. Inflectional affix, they do not change the basic meaning of the words to which it is attached. So every word which has been attached by the affix in inflectional affix, they will not change the basic meaning of words. And how about derivational affixes? Derivational affix, they alter the basic meaning of words to which it is attached. So every single word which has been attached in the derivational affix, it will change the meaning. They alter the basic meaning of the words. Next, the fourth. In inflectional affix, they cannot produce or create a new English word. It means even we attach suffix in a word in inflectional affix, they will not create a new English word. But how in derivational affix? Derivational affix, they can create or make a new English word even we attach in that word. And the last, inflectional affix, they are suffixes such as ing, as, ed, er, and est. So in inflectional affix, only suffix. And how in derivational affix? In derivational affix, they can be both prefix and suffixes. So all affixes can be attached in derivational affix. We continue to the last part, that is analyzing affixes. Analyzing the affixes can be done and can be known and can be easier by analyzing the function and position. Every single word must be separated from the root and could explain what is the position actually of the word. Perhaps it will be prefix or suffix. Then instead it is inflectional affixes or derivational affixes. Here are the examples for analyzing the affixes. So here for the examples, the first example here I will explain, that is cheaters. The main class of cheaters is a noun and it's divided into class again, that is noun and suffix. What does noun mean? Noun means because of cheater. The main class of cheater is a noun, and a noun is divided in two parts again, that is verb and suffix. What does verb mean? Verb mean it was from the cheat, because the main class of cheat is a verb, and er is the suffix, and the last suffix again is as, so it becomes the cheaters. For the other explanation, cheat is the root of word from cheaters, which is a verb meaning to compose something in written form. And er, what er means? Er is a derivational class changing, a non-forming suffix meaning a person or thing that does. And the last as, what does as means? As means as inflectional non-plural marker, suffix meaning more than one. So as mean is become a plurality. And the last I say thank you very much for watching, and may my explanation can be understood well. And I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.